and you join me in Fiji today. Today we're going to go for a 20-minute Hatha flow, so nice and gentle, leading with the breath and following with the body. Let's start on our knees for hero pose, pointing the toes to the back of the mat and just heel toe the knees out to the corner of the mat, resting the glutes onto the mat, maybe taking a block or a book or a pillow to rest under the glutes. And just getting that nice stretch in the knees and down the front of the shins. I'm going to take the block out for today to get a bit of a deeper stretch. And take the fingers into shin mudra, so index finger and the thumb touching, the rest of the fingers relaxing out, and just rest them on the top of the knees. And just finding stillness here, becoming aware of your own breath and arriving on your mat. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Grounding down through the glutes. And just simply trying to relax into the next 20 minutes of our yoga practice today. Listening to the sounds of the rain in the background, maybe the birds. We're going to raise our arms up to the sky, interlacing the fingers, pushing the palms up to the sky, and exhale, taking the hands to the soles of the feet, resting the neck, resting the head around the knee area, maybe taking a block, feeling that lovely stretch down the back of the neck. Breathe in here. And rolling the spine up. Inhale one more time, hands up to the sky, interlacing the fingers, palms to the sky, and exhale, leading with the chest, allowing the hands to touch the feet and resting the head onto the mat or the block. Breathe in here. Rolling up through the spine, nice and slowly. We're going to put our hands out in front. And we're just going to take a stretch of the soles of the feet. So either leaning onto the heels, placing the glutes onto the heels. If that's a little bit too much, taking the hands out in front of us and just pushing the hips and the glutes back onto the feet for a little bit of a less intense stretch. I'm going to take the intense version today. Taking the hands out in front of us, walking the knees back. We're going to take a tabletop position. Looking forward, flat back. Inhale for cat. Exhale for cow. Inhale, take the gaze and the chest up to the sky. Exhale, rolling through the spine, taking the gaze toward the knees. Inhale, chest and gaze up to the sky. Exhale, pushing the mat away with our hands and rolling through the spine. And just taking some free movement here. Again, leading with the breath and allowing the body to follow. Listening to the body. And deciding what it needs today from your practice. Maybe a roll of the head, roll of the hips. Coming into tabletop and taking that right foot out to the back of the mat and circling the ankle. Getting some mobilization in the ankle, right and then left. Bringing that knee back into center, taking the other leg out and mobilizing that ankle, taking right and left. Drawing big circles with the big toe. Coming back into tabletop, planting the hands a little bit further up the mat. Tucking in the toes and pushing up for our first downward dog. So gripping the mat with our fingers, rolling the shoulders back, sending the gaze through to the ankles, sending the hips up to the sky, and maybe walking out your dog, left foot down to the ground, and then right. Coming up onto our toes and dropping back down to find stillness in our downward facing dog. And just slowly walking the feet up to the hands at the top of the mat. We're going to inhale for flat back. Exhale, lowering down for forward fold. Maybe taking a bend in the knees and rolling up through the spine. Very gently, very slowly. Head is the last thing to arrive. Inhale, bending the knees, arms up to the sky, palms to touch, taking a back bend. And exhale, taking the hands to the side of the hips for Tadasana. Inhale, up to the sky, palms to touch. Exhale, leading with the chest for forward fold. Inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, taking the feet back and coming into your version of plank. High plank, lowering down to the ground for upward facing dog. Exhale, pushing up onto the feet for downward facing dog. Taking your dog, pedaling out the feet or finding stillness, coming up onto the toes and dropping the heels back onto the ground. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, jump to the top of the mat, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, taking a bend in the knees and rolling up through the spine very gently and slowly. Head to come up. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, parting the hands and finding Tadasana. Inhale, arms up to the sky, palms to touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jumping back into plank. Breathe here. Exhale, lower it down onto the ground for upward facing dog. Pushing up through the hands, sending the hips to the sky to find downward facing dog again. Either finding stillness in your dog or pedaling out the feet, left and right. Taking a breath here, raising the right foot up to the sky for three-legged dog. Taking the right knee into the chest and out, step it through the hands. Inhale, push up through that right thigh. Into high lunge and then into low lunge. Inhaling for lift and exhaling, sinking deeper into that thigh. Inhale for lift, exhale, sinking deeper. Inhale and exhale, opening up into warrior two. Setting up for our warrior two here. Making sure the back of the front foot is in line with the middle of the back foot. Opening our arms out to the side. Nice straight arms. Imagine we're against a wall. Palms facing down. Taking those little micro movements. Inhale for lift and exhale to sink deeper into the pose. Inhale and exhale, taking that left arm down to the side of the ankle, maybe grabbing the block or your book, resting the fingertips onto the block. Opening up that right arm up to the sky, opening through the right shoulder, gaze up to the right arm for an extra challenge. Grounding down through the feet. Inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, taking that right arm down the back of the right leg, left arm up to the sky, gaze up to the left arm. Inhale for center and exhale, back down for Trikonasana. Right arm into the sky, gaze up to that right hand. Exhale for center. Inhale, taking that right arm down the inside seam. Exhale to center. Inhale to come to Trikonasana. Finding your flow and following your breath in this dancing warrior. From Trikonasana, taking the weight over into that left leg. Heel turn that right foot up. Taking the right hip to the right, right hand to the right hip. Floating that right arm up and the right leg up into the sky. For warrior three, maybe taking the gaze up to that right hand, embracing all the wobbles. I'm a little bit wobbly on my left side today. And taking that right foot down to meet the left. Inhale, arms to come up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands to the ground, step or jump back to your plank. Inhale. Exhale, lowering it down for upward facing dog. Exhale, pushing it back up for downward facing dog. Finding stillness or pedaling out your dog here. Maybe right and then left. Inhale, sweeping that right leg up into the sky. Exhale, bringing it through into the center of the hands. Inhale, pushing up through that thigh for high lunge. Finding Kali Mudra here. Interlacing the fingers apart from the index finger. Inhaling for lift, exhaling to sink deeper. Inhale for lift, exhale to sink deeper. Inhale for lift, exhale, revolving it into warrior two. That back foot to the back of the mat. The back of the right foot in line with the center of the left foot. Inhale, arms open. Gaze to that right hand. Nice straight arms. Again, imagining the wall behind you. Inhaling for lift and exhaling to sink deeper. Straightening that right leg, taking your block to outside of the right ankle. Take that left arm up to the sky for Trikonasana. Opening through that left shoulder, gaze up to the left hand. Breathe here. Inhale to come up to center. Exhale, taking that left arm down to the back. Inhale to center. Exhale for Trikonasana. Again, finding your flow, leading with the breath. Warrior two to Trikonasana. Taking the left hand to the left hip, heel toeing that left foot into the top of the mat a little bit. Right block to the top of the right mat. Floating the left foot off the ground and taking that left arm up to the sky for warrior three. Finding balance in that right leg, nice and strong. Taking the gaze up to the hand for an extra challenge here. And finding the feet both at the top of the mat. And just grounding down through the glutes, bending in the knees. Taking the hands behind the hips and raising the hips up to the sky, tucking in the inner thighs, the glutes and the abdomen. Exhale. One more time for reverse plank. Inhale and exhale. Pulling in everything really tight here, breathing here. And exhale, lower it down to the ground. Shaking off the legs. One more time. Inhale up to the sky, tensing in everything, the abdomen, the inner thighs. And exhale, lower it down to the ground. Shaking off the legs again. Bending the knees and just sliding the hips further to the feet. Coming to lay on our backs. We're going to take a bridge posture. So finding the backs of our feet with our fingers. Imagining the lower spine. We're going to inhale from this lower spine, sending our glutes up to the sky, interlacing our fingers behind our back and shimmying the shoulders towards the mat and breathing here. Again, tucking in the inner thighs, the glutes and the abdomen. Breathing. And exhale, untuck the shoulders, remove the hands and roll the spine down really gently. Just coming back to our normal breath here. Breathing here. And we'll inhale and roll up through the spine again, shimmying the shoulders under and interlacing the fingers, grounding down through the shoulders here and the feet, tucking in the inner thighs, glutes and abdomen really tight, breathing into the posture. And exhale. Just to roll down through to the spine, coming back to the natural breath. Hugging in the knees into the chest, big tight hug, and just having a roll from side to side. Exhale, send the feet up to the sky. Option to stay here in this inversion. Option to take a shoulder stand. We're going to roll the hips and the feet up to the sky. Grabbing the tops of our hips with our hands, grounding down through the elbows. Option to take the knees to opposite side of our head, walking the hands out and grounding down through the hands. Not to move the head in this position, just to gaze up to the sky and breathe. Feeling that lovely stretch down the spine. Breathe in here. Inhale and exhale, taking the feet back up to the sky, hands to the hips, sliding the hips through the hands and rolling the spine down gently towards the mat. Coming up into a seated position now. We're just going to slide the hips back, fold the legs over, come onto all fours and take it back into a wide-legged child's pose. Option to take a regular child's pose. Option to take it wider by just walking the knees out to the edges of the mat, dropping the head down to the ground, sinking into the mat here. Breathing, just coming back to your natural breath and coming up into a tabletop position. We're going to take the right arm underneath the left for a threaded puppy pose. So hips up into the air. Option to take a further bind here by taking the left arm towards the back, maybe finding the inside of the right thigh. Breathing into this lovely shoulder stretch. And exhale, just coming out of that bind or the threaded puppy, just taking it back into a child's pose, just observing the difference between the left and the right shoulder. Inhale, coming up onto all fours. Exhale, thread that left arm underneath the right, grounding down through that left shoulder, left cheek resting on the mat, resting the right hand onto the mat, or taking the right arm, just finding some adjustments, taking that right arm up into the sky and finding a bind on the other side. Breathe in here. Exhale, just taking it back into a child's pose, breathing into those sensations, rolling up through the spine, and coming into a seated position here. We're going to find our Savasana, grounding down into the shoulders, maybe taking Supta Baddha Konasana here. So soles of the feet together, legs in a diamond shape, creating space under the armpit, grounding down into the shoulders and just relaxing, melting into the mat. Being comfortable with stillness and focusing on the breath. Deepening the inhales and elongating the exhales. Bringing the legs together and rolling up into a seated position. If you have longer to spend in Savasana today, please do. Take as much time as you like. If not, inhale your arms up to the sky, palms to touch, hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you like the video, like and subscribe to Rituals Hub, and hopefully see you in the future.